But let's move on. Let's move on to topic number 2 tonight. Another great topic, and it's the Eagles QB decision. And it just came out early this morning. I was just talking about it with producer Ben that the Eagles head coach did decide that he was going to go with Jalen Hurts and name Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback. So we're going to say, hey, is that the right decision at this point for this Philadelphia Eagles team? What do you think, Pat?
I think this is absolutely the right decision. Number one, you're the Eagles. Minshew just got there, so you're gonna go into week 1 with a guy who's been there for 3 weeks with this team. That's really tough. Number 2, you're Philly. They're gonna say they want to make the playoffs. They're not gonna make the playoffs. They don't have the roster to make the playoffs. You have a young receiver in Devontae Smith, who you drafted really high. You have a young team around Jalen Hurts. And number 2, you got to figure out if this guy could be the guy. Give him a full season. Give Jalen Hurts, he played a couple games last year, played pretty well in some, not so well in others. So let this guy be the starter for a year and see if he's the guy. If he's not, then you have to go out and get the next guy. So you can draft the next guy next year or sign a free agent next year, because neither of those things are going to happen right now mid-season. So the toughest part about the NFL with quarterbacks sometimes is look at the Giants. I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy. Or look at the Bears, who were, putzing around with Mitch Trubisky for how long, because they felt like they had to keep playing him because those two guys were high first-round picks.
Yep.
And they didn't want to be embarrassed by the fact that they just picked a guy in the top 10 who now is not a good starting quarterback. I don't think either of those guys are good starting quarterbacks. And the longer you wait, the longer it takes to get the next guy. So if you're Philly, you got a guy on your roster who you think might be the next starting quarterback who could be a good player in this league, and Jalen Hurts. See what he's got this year, right? And then you got Gardner Minshew, who, if Hurts just is terrible by mid-season, you can easily bring Minshew in. He's used to being a backup quarterback. He's used to coming in relief. He's used to being that guy who has to sit with a clipboard for however many weeks and then come in and be the starter and lead a team. You're set up perfectly to have Hurts be the guy that you're trying out. And then if he doesn't work out, you can have Minshew come in just to hold the team together, hold the season together so it doesn't completely collapse throughout the season.
No, I agree with you. And, hey, we were just talking about Cam Newton, and I got to think, you were just talking about these teams that are undecided at quarterbacks. There's still a lot of teams that need a quarterback, so we're going to see where Cam Newton goes. I still think he is going to be a starting quarterback on another team, and we'll find out, I would think, within the next few weeks if that's going to be true. But in this case, I think Jalen Hurts is like a young Cam Newton, somebody that can move the pocket, use his legs, get outside, throw on the run, and run. And he's a big quarterback, too. He can run and take some hits. And it's just quickly, let's go back. And I know people have talked about it, but let's go back to the QB room at Alabama that year with Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, and Tua Tagovailoa all on the same team. And so it just proves how good Alabama is at recruiting and getting great quarterbacks and putting them out year after year. And it looks like all three of them right now are going to be starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year. So it's just amazing. But I've really got to go with Jalen Hurts here. I think it's an easy choice here. I've really got to say, and this isn't a big hit on Gardner Minshew. I think he's played well. I think he's played well in his NFL opportunities. But I think at times people are talking more about his mustache and his mullet and the way he carries himself off the field and, his interviews and stuff. But at some point, you've got to put that product on the field as well. He does a great job of his branding himself off the field and his personal brand. But at some point, you've got to deliver on the field here. This is professional sports. And I think at times he's just been an average NFL quarterback. So I just think the upside here is with Jalen Hurts clearly as being the better quarterback, giving you more opportunity to go out and win now if you're Philadelphia. And like you said, do they have a chance to make the playoffs? Probably not, okay? Probably not with either quarterback. So like you said, let's see what we got with Jalen Hurts, see if he is going to be the guy of the future here, and see what we really got in him. And like I said, I think this is a guy that has young Cam Newton-like capabilities with being able to throw on the run, move the pocket, get outside of the pocket, and escape pressure, and be able to do things with his legs that a lot of NFL quarterbacks can't do right now, and specifically that Gardner Minshew can't do. So I just think, even as a coach, I've always said this: give me a mobile quarterback any day of the week over a standard pocket passer, because you can just do so many more things with a mobile quarterback in an offense, and there's just so many more capabilities as a play caller. And I just think that's exactly what the Eagles are thinking here right now, and clearly that's what they thought when they named him the starting quarterback this morning. But I do think it's the right decision, and I think he can have a good season. But I think it's also one of those things like we were just talking about with Mac Jones. I think you got to take his season in segments and see how he develops and how he progresses, and then really make a decision if he's going to be your quarterback of the future.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense. And like you were saying before about Minshew, it's almost like some people like the idea of Minshew or the mystique of Gardner Minshew rather than the actual quarterback and what he produces on the field. Wouldn't hate him in New England if he was the backup quarterback, though. I think he's a very good backup quarterback, not necessarily the guy that you go into the season to start with. And I think that's what the Eagles think right now, too. Folks, if you like this show, you're watching it right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. That's Comeback Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Comeback Sports. And then all the cut-ups that our awesome producer, Ben Kudo, puts together after the show, that'll all filter to your YouTube channel. You don't have to go search for it. It's just right there in your subscriptions.